This then is the guidance and teaching overview of the siege warfare lesson, taught either as part of the medieval period or of the Crusades, or some understanding and comparison of how war is fought at different times and different periods. Our objectives then: what was siege warfare and what would it have been like to have been involved in such a siege? Our outcomes then: to know what it was, siege warfare, how battles were fought, and to compare possibly warfare with war that comes later or before. Our possible extended outcomes of this particular task are then listed. And we move on to preparation then for activity 1, where students will be given bullet points taken from the text of Bernard Cornwell's book Harlequin, part of his Grail Quest trilogy. What they're going to do is they're going to read a description of the English siege of the city of Caen in 1204, and what they have to do is draw that, is to illustrate that siege and label it based upon the description that he provides. So the first activity, no more than 15 minutes. The prompts are provided on the worksheet that the students are using. They need to make sure that they include these key points, and of course they need to consider before they start this task how they're actually going to present it. And a possible exemplar of what might be drawn based upon the description that's provided. Now, using that, what were they correct on? What did they miss out? And of course you could add an additional question of how well they worked effectively as a team in producing this particular piece of work. This can then be compared against this illustration of siege warfare and the various tools and weapons that were used by both the attackers and the defenders. So our second activity, splitting the class into groups or into two different halves, have them consider, would they rather be a defender or an attacker? If you have a castle, how would you defend it? How would you attack it? Presentations of both. Their conclusion: would they have rather been an attacker or a defender? Now then, this can be compared against the reconstruction in Ridley Scott's film The Kingdom of Heaven, YouTube clip provided, and of course this is hyperlinked through to that particular film. So then, how does medieval warfare compare to Roman warfare? This can then be compared against the clip from Gladiator, which is hyperlinked, to revisit the aims at the end of the lesson.